Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to share with you my top 5 concealers, my very best ones geared towards mature skin. So if you are interested in this content, just keep on watching. If you already saw one of my videos before, thank you for returning, and if you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Marisa, and in here we talk about everything beauty and lifestyle related, focusing on over 50 issues. So if you think that this content might interest you, please consider subscribing to my channel. You just need to click on the red subscribe button below and on the notification bell in order not to miss any of my upcoming videos. Consider also following me on Instagram. I publish almost daily beauty, lifestyle, and sometimes cat-related content on my Instagram stories. And I'm very happy to say that this video is made in collaboration with my best friend here on YouTube, Monique Beauty, with whom I worked in the past in the video Best Foundations for Over 50 Mature Skin. If you didn't have the opportunity to see it, I'll place the link here above and also in the description. Lisa has a normal type skin while mine is combination, so I'm quite sure that between us two we will have great suggestions of concealers for you. So don't forget to check out her video. I will place the link below as well as the link to her channel, which I highly suggest for you to check out. Now I have a very complicated under eye area. The skin has a very dark bluish tone and is very fragile, permanently dehydrated. It has depression following my orbital bone, and in some days, depending on my sinusitis, it also has bags, small ones, but it has. And of course, I have a great many wrinkles and fine lines. So taking all this in consideration, what do I want in a concealer? Well, of course, I want one that settles as least as possible in my wrinkles, that covers my bluish areas and wears well. And because the more concealer we apply, the highest probability we have of it to move and settle on the creases, I prefer high coverage concealers with which I can apply the minimum amount possible and therefore reduce the probability of creasing. So normally I start with the corrector, a peach one, if my bluish under eye areas are in very bad state, and I apply it here in the border between my face skin and my under eyes, just in here in the depression. And then I apply like 2 to 3 dots of concealer and pat it with a finger. I don't use a sponge because the product is so minimum that if I use a sponge, I'll remove it and make it all pointless. If the concealer is very creamy, I apply then a little bit of powder, also as minimum as possible. One thing that I think it's extremely important, independently of the concealer that I'm using, is to moisturize. So I apply 2 to 3 layers of moisturizers, emollients and occlusives in the eyes until the skin absorbs no more product. And before I apply the concealer, I wait for 5 or 10 minutes and then I pat the excess, because we don't want the ingredients in the moisturizers to interfere with the performance of the concealers. I have to say before I start telling you what are my top 5 concealers, that the ones that I have chosen are all alcohol and fragrance free, and they feel very lightweight on the skin and are by far the ones that I feel crease the least on my under eyes, so the probability of them working for you too is very high. So let's start with my first one, and this is probably the one that I have with the lightest coverage, but I think it's a very good one for skin that is very dry, because it's very creamy and moisturizer, and it's the Glossier Stretch Concealer. I have it in the shade G10, but it's honestly a little bit too light for me. I'm not a very big fan of concealers in pots. I prefer the ones that come in a tube with sponge tip applicator, but as you can see, it's extremely emollient, extremely creamy, and I find that, as the name says, it really is able to resist to the wrinkles that our expressions make. In me, I have to set it, but I think this one would be a very good choice for a dry skin. My second choice is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Concealer, and this is also a classic. It has much higher coverage, it has a very long wear, and I have to say, this in me at least has a tendency to crease, so I have to be very careful in order to apply only in the areas that are absolutely needed and to buff it very well into the skin and remove the excess here beneath my eyelashes. And I also set it a little bit, although it does set by itself. For a more drier skin, this one doesn't really need powder. For me, the positive points of this one are, on one side, the coverage, and the second one, how long wearing it is. My third choice is the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric Concealer, and this is also a cult classic, and it's a very good concealer. I wouldn't say that this one has a high coverage. I would say it's a high medium, and it's probably, together with the Glossier Stretch Concealer, the second best one for dry skin, because it's very creamy and very hydrating, and in me at least I have to set it in order for it to remain put where I want it. But when I do, I find that it performs very well, and I think that it's one that can be used by all skin types. The next two ones are the ones that I'm using the most at the moment. I wouldn't say that they are my holy grails, because all of this that I've mentioned are holy grails for me. I just use them in different situations. But this one in particular, I'm finding it the most easy to apply. It has medium coverage, but I just placed 2 dots on my under eye area. I pat it and that's it. It does not move, it does not crease, it does fade a little bit, and for me that is the downside that it has. But none of the other ones beat this one regarding the ease of application. It's a great concealer. And finally, the one with the highest coverage that I have is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. It has a huge name. IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Full Coverage Anti-Aging Waterproof Concealer. Blimey. But this is really a great concealer. It has a huge coverage. You just need the minuscule amount dots on the hand and just place it exactly where you want on the eyes. It's not drying, but it does not require setting, and it does not settle into creases and fine lines. It's a miracle worker, honestly. I have never found a concealer with so much coverage that works so well as this one. So, in resume, the IT Bye Bye Under Eye is the one that I advise with the highest coverage. The Giorgio Armani and the Glossier Stretch Concealer, for those of you that have drier under eye areas, these ones are the most hydrating and moisturizing. And then the Estee Lauder Stay in Place Double Wear and the Radiant Cream Concealers are two very good all-rounders. The Stay in Place is a little bit less moisturizing but has more coverage. This one is a medium one, but it's more hydrating. And this is it for this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you very much for the time that you have spent with me. Until next time, bye!